44,000 hours. How do I tell you 40? The experience from 44,000 hours. I'm trying to tell you, but not enough to, so you can't sleep at night. You know what I mean? Because if you can't sleep at night, you want to forget it. And this is not what I want. So I'm giving you enough, but not enough to not be able to sleep at night. Why do I tell my story? Because it is a must for people to know what people can do to other people for no reason whatsoever. Now, I've been doing it for the last 16, 17 years or so. Like I said, it's not we who. Oh, yep, I wish we could tell better stories. Unfortunately, a lot of anti-Semitism. Although Poland, years ago, when the Jews were expelled from Spain, went to Poland, and the president was very good, and Jews lived there for quite a number of years in harmony with other people. Later on, there was quite a bit of anti. The life has changed in 1930 when Hitler was running for chancellor. So in 1933, when he became chancellor, he had a free hand and a ready army. All those kids that you think didn't listen were ready. You go to school on Shabbat, on Saturday. So on Sunday, when we did go to school, public school, there were kids waiting with little stones to throw at us because we didn't go to school the day before. And this is only one of many, many things. You realize that if you plant something in people's mind, it may not take off right away, but eventually it will take off. Kristallnacht, you have heard of Kristallnacht. He surrendered himself with young people and, like all politicians, told them what he's going to do and how he's going to do. It didn't take off. And the world was quiet. There was no response from the world whatsoever. First of all, Warsaw was bombed for 3 weeks, day and night, before they really conquered the city. The ghetto started the fall of 1940. And we were one of the first ones in the ghetto because we lived in an area that was not really a Jewish area, so we had to move into the ghetto. We were fortunate that my uncle had an apartment house that was half bombed, and he had one room that he gave our family. And this is where we were hiding till 1943, till the uprising of the ghetto. When we got to my daddy, the women one way and the men another way. Now my mother was pushed with my sister and myself, but she wouldn't let go of the hand of my little brother, so she went to the left. And we came to Auschwitz. There were 1,000 of us. So we were put in rows of 5, because there were 20 rows. My sister and I were in the row on the left, I think, the 4th row. Along comes a Nazi. Who is a shoemaker here? I don't know who raised my arm. Got a bomb? of my parents. I raised my arm and I pushed my sister to raise her arms. What was our job? We were taking apart the shoes from the gas chamber. We were taking apart the soft leather from the hard leather and the nails, and they were sending it back to Germany for recycling. Every time I took a pair of shoes, baby shoes, women's shoes, men's shoes, my heart stopped completely. I knew where they came, where the shoes came from. And this is what I work 8 hours a day. First of all, the knives that you take apart the shoes is already in itself tough, you know? And every time I took a pair of shoes, my heart stopped beating. And this I did for almost a year and a half. Unbelievable. One day, I, my sister, and other 2 people were taken to the place where they have the gas. And we said goodbye to each other because we were supposed to get the cyclone with gas. And what they did is they had us take it from one place to another, but we didn't know. And we said goodbye, this is it, I'm holding my death in my hand. I was on the death march. Now, the death march started with close to 1,000 people. I dare say 100 of us were alive. I'm asking, how on earth can you exist without... A human being can last longer without food than without liquid, without water. We didn't have any food nor water on the death march. When you bent down for a little snow, because it was January, February, you got shot. I don't even know how on earth we survived. And you know what? The thing that was the worst is they wanted to dehumanize us. That was basically what they wanted more than anything else, to dehumanize us. We were liberated by the Americans, who kept us for about 3 weeks in Germany, in the center of Germany, in Leipzig, city of Leipzig. And they fed us. And after 3 weeks, they said, you're free. I'm free to do what? I have no clothes on my body, only what I was given when they took us out from Auschwitz. I had a pair of short boots that were frozen to my skin during the march. And when I was liberated, they had to cut away the boots with my skin. And no money, no food, and not anything. Where do you go? What do you do? Whoever we met that was incarcerated someplace, did you know this one? Maybe you knew my father. Did you? One day there was a man who knew my father in Maidanek. And he said he was sick. I didn't believe that they killed my father. He was bright man, not educated, but bright and understanding. And I go to every Red Cross in the world after we were liberated to see maybe I find, no. A son was trainer, and I wanted to go to work because I figured if I go to work, I learn the language, which I did. I went to work in a summer camp for children. I was supposed to help a cook prepare lunch for 450 children. I didn't know what water looks like when it boils. I was no help to her, and I wanted to quit, but life taught me not to be a quitter. Summer camp lasted 8 weeks. And after the 8 weeks, I said, "Oh my God, I'm liberated." But not for long. There was one counselor that spoke Jewish, Yiddish. And I said during the 8 weeks, "Charlotte, please, I want to quit. I can't. I've done no help to this person. And I just can't do it." But the camp director had set up his mind. He's not going to let her have me quit because he had a feeling that I'll go places. He had a feeling. Well, P.S. After 8 weeks, the counselor came to me and she said, "He wants you to take over camp." I said, "He's crazy." By then I knew to say, "You crazy. You, not you are, you crazy." So he said to her, of course in English, she has nothing to lose because she doesn't understand, she doesn't speak. If there is a complaint, it's going to be a complaint to me, not to her. So, and I took over camp. And only when you're 20 something are you daring and stupid. And you know what? Somehow I know how much we cooked, how much they cooked when I was a helper, and the kids filled up on peanut butter and jelly. I started cooking spaghetti and meatballs and macaroni and cheese, and I couldn't cook enough. And that's how I started my life in the United States. And loved every minute of it. First of all, I'm thankful to God for giving us a second chance of life because people get only one chance of life. And I'm thankful to the United States for giving us a country. So, that's me. And I think to this day, there's still some people that don't believe what happened. To this day. Now look, this is how many years? 75, 74. They still don't believe what happened. But it happened. And in order for it not to happen again to any human being, there is no human being on earth that should go through torture like this. There's no human being. People were coming in on trains, and the trains went right into the gas chamber. People have to undress, and they think they're taking a shower when they're taking gas. It's beyond imagination, really. Beyond imagination. If you want to put together a story like this, I don't think anyone can put together a story like this. Impossible. Impossible. How can you survive only with the will of the one above, whatever you believe? And a piece of bread, yeah, this size, exactly this size, and a cup of, an 8-ounce cup of potato peel soup a day. How can you survive on this? This was the food through Auschwitz, through Majdanek. That's why there was nothing. And the other camps, how could we? Only because the one above wanted us here. Otherwise, you can't survive. It's impossible.